Hey everyone. So today I wanted to talk about something that changed my life for the better, and that is adopting a cat. This has been an idea in my head for a long time, ever since I moved out of my parents' home, but I decided to go ahead and actually adopt around June of this year. Me and my girlfriend looked around the websites of the main shelter for cats and dogs in our city, and after much looking, we agreed upon adopting a cute little cat named Zeus. I'm not lying, that's the name the shelter gave him. It's even in his papers. Now, Zeus is a white and orange cat, and he's a silly little guy, but he had a rough time before I adopted him. His main problem is the fact that after a major injury, he had to have one of his legs amputated, which is how I saw him in the first place at the shelter. The people at the shelter were actually surprised I wanted to adopt him because, in their own words, most people want kittens and not cats with problems. Although this happened to him, that doesn't stop him from running around the house, jumping, and being a pretty active cat, which is something I didn't expect when I adopted him, although that's when he feels like it, because most days he's just sitting around. I went into owning a cat with certain expectations, but that didn't prepare me for the surprises I got once I actually got home. For starters, I had to put the litter box in a very visible place for him to actually go. And I also had to clean it very often, which I learned after he decided on his first couple of days to urinate on my bed, which was not nice to deal with, but he eventually learned, which took a lot of stress off my shoulders. Another thing I had to learn was to have trust in him. He loved going around inspecting things from his very first day, and I was very cautious, but I understood eventually that he wasn't doing any damage to anything, so I can just let him roam around where I knew it was safe. On my first night, though, I barely got any sleep because I would check up on him every 2 to 3 hours. I also had to become a lot more careful about leaving food because he's curious and would try to eat what I leave out, which could harm him, and that's the last thing I want. I especially had to put chocolate in places he cannot reach. A more positive thing I didn't expect is how affectionate he is, and how quickly he would trust me, and also seek my affection and attention, basically forming a strong bond between us in a week at most. By week two, already getting excited when I come home from the store or whatnot, and also wanting to stay next to me while I'm in bed, which was so cute. Spending time with him was a joy every time, and he brings to me so much happiness every day. It's also entertaining to just watch him be, like how he grooms himself, or especially when he has the zoomies and I get to play with him. It's always impressive to see how fast he runs or how funny he can be. I have to admit that adopting Zeus had a major impact on my life. I was in a pretty bad mental state when I adopted him, but he changed me from the first day. He made me overall happier and helped me a lot with my depression, as taking care of him gave me a sense of purpose, and also just seeing him be silly lifted my mood. I will always say I'm glad that I adopted him, and he's always making me happy, and the fact I get to make his life a little better every day is something I cherish a lot. Anyways, thanks for listening. Happy holidays, and see you in the next video. Bye!